Okay, so I am currently learning Thai faster than I've ever learned any other language. With the possible exception of when I first moved to El Salvador and I was really dedicated to studying Spanish every moment of every day, I don't think I've ever made language progress this quickly before. I have 5 steps that I take pretty much every single day in order to learn Thai, and all 5 of these fall within the 3 pillars of language learning that I've discussed in other videos. And if you haven't seen those videos, I'll just summarize that the 3 pillars are comprehensible input, vocabulary acquisition, and conversation practice. And comprehensible input is probably the most underrated of those 3 pillars, although there is sort of a trend right now where people are starting to see the sheer power of lots of comprehensible input in the language learning community. And the thing that makes me really excited about this is there's a brand new YouTube channel called Comprehensible Thai. And it's really almost exactly what I look for in a YouTube channel for learning any language. I don't want you to explain to me how verbs work. I don't want you to tell me 16 ways of greeting people in Thai. I don't want you to teach me the alphabet. Really, all I want in your YouTube channel is speak Thai and do it in a way that's easy enough for me to understand. So the Comprehensible Thai channel is great for me and the level that I'm at right now. I've also been reading through the Manat Mani books. These books are designed for children, so they're not fascinating, but they are pretty easy to read through. And I don't understand everything. I don't catch every single word. Sometimes there's grammar that I don't understand in the book, but that's fine. I just keep reading and I get the basic gist of the story through context. And this is really nice because all of the vocabulary that I'm learning through other resources just seems to always pop up in these stories. For example, the other day I was watching a comprehensible Thai input video and I learned the word for duck, which I had never heard before. Literally 20 minutes later, I close out of the video and I open up my Mana Mani book, and then boom, all of a sudden I'm reading about ducks in Thai, and I'm like, wow. 20 minutes ago, I wouldn't have known that word, and now I'm able to read through the story fully understanding what I'm reading. So the YouTube channel and the books form a really nice complementary pair to each other. And I've been doing extensive study with those, so I'm getting lots of input, lots of material, not stopping to make sure I understand everything, which is okay because I'm getting lots of material that way. The only really intensive input that I've been making myself get is through songs. And I really like songs because they get stuck in my head and then I'm singing them all day long, and then I memorize certain select phrases that I can draw upon whenever I'm in a conversation. I found some really easy pop songs on everydaythai.com. And I have been studying these songs intensively, so I look up the words that I don't understand and I ask people for clarifications when I don't quite understand the grammar. And I think that's a fine method because songs are relatively short, so it's realistic to go through a whole song and basically understand everything over the course of maybe a half hour or so. But then I keep listening to that song on repeat for days or weeks afterwards, so I'm getting lots of good repetitions during my passive study time. So that is really all of the comprehensible input I've been working on for the last few months. I've also been working on some focused vocabulary acquisition on Memrise. And I want to be very careful here because I always tell people you should use the language, not study it. And honestly, I think Memrise would be 100% useless to me if I wasn't using it in conjunction with other language learning methods. But as it is, I'm using a specific language course for the most common words in Thai, and it's really nice how often I will learn a word on Memrise and then immediately start seeing it in my comprehensible input and in my conversation practice later. I only use Memrise for about 5 to 10 minutes per day max. I don't overdo it. There are much more effective language learning methods, but Memrise is a decent supplement to those other methods. And then the last practice method that I'm making sure I get in a lot of is conversation practice. And I do this a few different ways. The first thing I do is I ambush innocent bystanders on the side of the road or in the store or anywhere that I want because Thailand is full of Thai speakers. and I try to start up a Thai conversation with them. I was really inspired to start doing this more after my conversation with Moses. This guy is a genius and he speaks a ton of languages, and his method is pretty simple in that there's just no excuse to not be talking to people in your target language. So he really motivated me. And now, rather than just going into a store, grabbing what I need to get, and then buying it and leaving, I look for any possible opportunity to speak to someone. Very often I will invent reasons to talk to people. Like I'll ask someone a question about a product that I don't need to ask because I already know the answer, but I'm just trying to start a conversation with someone about this bag of popcorn that I can't read. The other thing I've been doing a lot is going to get massages, because in Thailand, massages are really cheap. I can get an hour-long massage for like 200 baht, which is like $6 USD. Even with a generous tip, that's still way cheaper than any hour-long language lesson I could get. So I just go to get a massage and then I talk the lady's ear off for an hour because I have a captive audience to speak Thai to. I've also been kind of casually chatting with people over Hello Talk. If you don't know what that is, I highly recommend watching this review video here because Hello Talk is a great app. And then I've been doing video chats with people, with italki tutors, with my conversation partner Crew Mom, who is also a tutor, and I will leave a link below if you're interested in having Thai lessons with her. So all of this sort of spontaneous conversation practice that doesn't really have any systematicity or any rhyme or reason, it functions really well in complement with some of the other language methods that I've been doing more systematically every single day. And it's just super encouraging when all of the study that I do in my house pays off when I'm outside speaking Thai with someone on the street. If you want to keep following my Thai practice, be sure to click this video here for more updates and just more information on how I'm learning Thai and what you can do too. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.